Welcome. Just imagine how absolutely amazing it will feel if you watch this video all the way to the end and really focus and internalize everything that's presented in this video, how much you will learn. Thank you, by the way, for stopping by and being an interesting person who loves math, for example. So you're going to do 1 plus I, let's see, raised to the fourth. Let's work on that. So I can use Pascal's triangle on the side here. Let me quickly remind you of what's involved in that. So you have 1 on top, then you have 1 and 1. Why can I use Pascal's triangle? Because I'm going to need coefficients, because you see up here there's a 4, so I'm going to be expanding. That's why, see? Alright, so they have 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 1 over here, and then 1 and 2, 3, 2 and 1, 3, and then 1 on the end, and lastly 1 and 3 is 4, 3 and 3 is 6, 3 and 1 is 4, and at the end you again have 1. So that's Pascal's triangle. Now remember, if you will, that these numbers here, they represent the coefficients in expansion. And the exponents, when you do this, always have to add up to whatever the degree is. So if it's a 4th degree, then they always have to add up to 4, okay? You've got this. Stay with me. Just imagine how amazing this will be once we get to the end, how much more you will know. So let's go through the process. Applying Pascal's triangle. I take 1i. Now this 1, I should write it this way, is like raised to the 4th, and I is at first raised to the 0. Plus, then you're going to have 1 raised to the 3rd, and then I raised to the 1st. Then you're going to have plus. If you want to be very official, you got to add the coefficients now from Pascal's triangle. So remember, this one here will be a 4. I just remember it because I've done it a whole bunch of times. So it's like this, you see? So you see it's coming from this 4 right here, okay? And then the 6, the 4, and the 1 again. So let me go back over here to the expansion. And then after that, it continues. So next one there in the pattern is a 6. And it's going to be 1 raised to the 2nd and I raised to the 2nd. Now, here when you write 1 to the 2nd, doesn't change anything. But I'm just writing it because I want to emphasize this 2 and that 2, 4. Correct? Look at this very carefully, friends. This is 1 and this is 3. So that's 4. This is 0 and this here is 4. So when you add them, you get 4 each time on the exponents. Okay, that's how you know how to write the exponent. It doesn't matter whether this involves I or just x plus y or whatever. It's the same logic. And then you're going to have here, next one, 4, and it's going to be I basically to the 3rd. And if you like, again, you can pretend there's like a 1 in here to the 1st, because you see 1 plus 3 here is again equal to 4. And then lastly, we're going to have, okay, it's that one now. So is that going to be it's 1, and then, okay, so if you wanted to say 1 to the 0, and then I raised to the 4th. But again, you see that 0 and this 0 and the 4 rather, they add up to positive 4. Great. So again, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this. Please be sure to watch all the way to the end and click like and subscribe if this is helpful to you, and check out the other videos on this channel. I also do have some recommendations for books that kind of reflect years of experience of learning math and teaching math. I am a college instructor. Down in the description below, so if you expand that, you will see a whole list of suggestions and some additional material that I like to share. I try to be a positive person and always share as much as I can. So let's go on here. I'm going to say the following then. Now 1 to the 4th is 1. I to the 0 is just 1 plus 4. 1 to the 3rd is 1, and then this is just I. Plus 6, so 1 squared is 1, and then 6 times I squared is what's left over. Plus 4, 1 to the 1st is what? 1. So then it's just I cubed. And then you're going to have plus, now you have 1 times 1 to the 0, which is 1, times I to the 4th, which is I to the 4th. You can do some of the stuff mentally because they're simple, like 1 to the 4th. Then you continue, so you can have 1 plus 4i plus 6 times negative 1. So here I'm applying the basic value of I squared as being negative 1, if you recall that. Okay, next one, plus 4, and I have I cubed. Now that one may not be so obvious, but you can write y squared times, because I squared is equal to negative 1. So I'll do it on the next line though. Plus, last part is I squared times I squared. You can always write it that way, because this will be negative 1, and this will be negative 1. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for staying by and watching. And I'm going to have 1 plus 4i minus 6, and then plus 4 times negative 1 times I, if I want to be very formal, and then plus negative 1 times negative 1 here for each I squared. And I'm going to have 1 plus 4i minus 6 minus 4i, and then plus 1 at the very end, because you multiply two negatives together there. Okay, excellent. So we have, then we get equals, so 1 plus 4i minus 6, and then minus 4i plus 1. Now look very carefully. This here, you see, cancels with this here, and this is a 1 here, 11. 1 minus 6 plus 1, which is negative 4, which means, in other words, negative 4 is the value of 1 plus I raised to the 4th. Is that obvious? Not really. I hope you've learned a lot in this video. Again, if you have to pause it, maybe review some of the stuff that I've gotten over here. There's quite a lot of detail always. Math is a fascinating subject if you think of, just imagine how the human mind is able to create all of this, that you would understand it. Now, if you have trouble just studying math, you just practice a lot, and over time, you get much better. As far as I can tell, some part of the human brain involved in this process just gets stronger over time. Persistence counts. Okay, let me just zoom out here, see whether I can show you all of the work. It's kind of nice. All right, there you go. And in order to get better at math, it does help if you read a lot of books from different people, different authors. So I have some excellent suggestions in the description below for you to explore. I'll see you in another video.